Okay, so it looks like we're working on the Fractured Heart of Stathmore episode 15. Little recap from last time. We had the introduction of Drusa, the Tiefling Bard, the realization that there's a false magistrate, a variant magistrate in the city, and Emerald Wyvern shows up, or Weavern, depends on how you pronounce it, shows up to take affirmative action, which causes a chase to ensue. Let's talk about this session. Well, obviously, this session was the chase. Had some chase rules. Had some really good ones I found from online, but those are dashed when the players actually hid down an alley and very well utilized illusionary magic to cover themselves. While Drusa ended up in a further alley, she took the initiative and ran further than the others. Split them up just a little bit so that way the guards would have a tougher time. And she didn't do so good at hiding. The other two, which would be Wendell, Wendell and Wendell and the Emerald Weavern, who both had the Avarians, and Drusa hid down another alleyway and was, I guess you could say, met by, I just use the word met by a hooded figure. Didn't really give any identification. Even with dark vision, he had like a mesh cloth above underneath his hood. So not really much identification there. The other players know him from the Lord Governor Corptera's estate. So it has been confirmed that he works for them. Meanwhile, Alvaro is on another part of town looking for the party and runs into a Goliath named Sickard. And this is another player that has joined us. His name is Phantom. Well, that's his online name. He's a DM on Thursdays for a setting known as Ambrosia. Very good at what he does. And we play every Thursday. So for this Thursday, I'm going to MagFest. Yay. So those two meet. So like, okay, well we'll find we'll track down the rest of the party. And along the way, Sickard picks up 2 loaves of bread, which will be explained later what happens with that, and he sticks them in his helmet. So they run along the way. They see Drusa bolt down an alleyway, and suddenly Linton just appears. He was running late, but he had already something had happened previously where he teleported away because he had to leave early last time. So he teleported on top of Sigurd's shoulders. He jumps to Alvaro's, and Sigurd just nails him down the throat with that bread. So he pulls it out and throws it at him. They become acquainted, and the party sort of meets up. And they have everyone there. The guards didn't find them, luckily, because the hooded figure actually helped Drusa get to that alleyway, because it was more or less, they were running down this way. Drusa moved into here and into here, while they just kind of took a right here, so she was able to move across to where they are. And then another kind of masked individual, where it's like black and gray, not black and gray, red and gray, or red and black, whatever you want to consider it, with a panther shows up to combat them. He doesn't really give much identity towards himself, but Drusa does determine that during the combat, that he is part of a group known as the Red Wave. Now, the Panther, obviously, or not obviously, is a Displacer Beast. So they are fighting what appears to be a cultist, I guess. I guess we're going to use that terminology. Cultist and a Displacer Beast in an alleyway. And it's a pretty eventful fight, actually. The Displacer Beast is actually hit, even though there's a disadvantage on it. The cultists first is jammed down the gullet with that bread that Sigurd had, and he succeeded pretty well. Couldn't get up, while Linton blasted him with a firebolt, dealing quite a bit of damage on a crit. And so it was basically the bread still stuck in his mouth. The firebolt hit the bread and combusted all throughout his body. Not a very pretty sight, but I thought it'd be an interesting little thing. They did good with that, and they did the same to the Displacer Beast. Well, the bread anyway, but not before Griffin, aka the Emerald Wyvern, was killed. And so, very eventful, very tragic that another player character had died. But, they actually calmed down the Displacer Beast and eventually just, kind of got it, just actually rolled a 20 to persuade this thing. So it just went to sleep. It took a nap right there. So while it was sleeping, they actually tied it up and, was wondering what to do with it. Wendell goes over, shoots it, stomps it. Very emotional scene, even though Wendell and Linton still believe that the Emerald Wyvern is indifferent or is different from Griffin. They don't believe them to be the same person just because of how well Griffin rolled. The hooded figure comes back through. Still hasn't revealed himself. Just explains like I'm sorry for you losing a fighting comrade, and why don't you come back with me? We'll take care of this death, and we'll move on. And he apologizes, I guess profusely, but it was a good session. Everyone seemed to have a good time, so that's all I can really ask for as a DM and a as a friend of these guys. That's all I can really ask for, is that they had a good time. Even though it was very uneventful, the chase and the fight, the fight was filled with quite a bit. So, there's nothing really that seemingly that I missed. So, I guess that's it for now. I can't wait to see what happens next. But before then, I'm going to go and enjoy myself in MagFest. This year, the 2017 MagFest. Also, Happy New Year to everyone. Merry Christmas. All that's good stuff. I know that's already passed by now, but I'm late anyway, so I'm always late with everything. So, take care.